Cash Dividends Basics Problem 3. Cantaloupe Corporation has 10,000 shares of 18% $60 par cumulative preferred stock outstanding and 35,000 shares of no par common stock outstanding. Preferred dividends of $21,000 are in arrears. At the end of the current year, the corporation declares a dividend of $248,000. What is the dividend per share for preferred stock and for common stock? We got a dividend question. Dividends can be challenging, but we're going to go through, make it a lot simpler. What is the dividend per share for both preferred and for common stock? Now, questions about dividends can ask about both preferred common or preferred or common. It can separate those out. Also, you can get total questions or you can get per share. This one is per share. So you got to first pay attention to that. You could be looking for a total number or per share amount. We got per share, and we're looking for both preferred and common. Now, anytime we have to do dividends, cash dividends, remember, unless it says stock dividend, it's a cash dividend. And you'll see in the problem, it looks pretty clear. It says the corporation declares a dividend of $248,000. We're doing dividends as well, cash dividends. With preferred and common stock, we always start by calculating preferred stock. Because remember, the idea of preferred stock is that it gets its dividend before common does. And if anything's left over, the residual goes to common. Let's break it down. Cantaloupe Corporation has 10,000 shares, 18%, $60 par cumulative preferred stock outstanding. We're going to stop right there. Remember, our calculation, whether it's cumulative or non-cumulative, we're going to take the par amount. So par of preferred, par for preferred. We're going to multiply that by the percentage for preferred amount, preferred stock, which here is 18%. And then finally, what do we multiply by? You want to stop and think about it? I'll just go ahead and tell you. It's the number of preferred shares outstanding. Remember, for dividends, we always use the number of preferred stock shares outstanding. Outstanding is what we focus on. Not issued, not authorized, number of shares outstanding, and we're told there are 10,000 shares outstanding. We multiply these three numbers together, and we're going to get the total amount for the preferred for each year, which is $108,000. $108,000 per year. Now, we're told that preferred dividends of $21,000 are in arrears. So keep that in mind. This is the amount that's per year for preferred shareholders. Again, dividends are not required. If it's non-cumulative, you don't have to worry about arrears. Whether it's cumulative or non-cumulative, again, dividends do not have to be paid out. There's no legal amount. If it's cumulative, you do have to consider past years. Now, we are told that this is cumulative. It says in the problem, cumulative preferred stock, so we do have to take into account the arrears. So if this was non-cumulative, you would ignore the $21,000. Because it's cumulative, for this year at issue, we're just looking at 1 year, we're going to take the $108,000 plus the $21,000 in arrears. We're going to get $129,000 total that needs to go to preferred before common can get any dividends. So total preferred. Now the question's asking per share. So we need to look at how much is being paid. $248,000 total. So all $129,000 is going to get paid to the preferred share. How many shares are outstanding? There's 10,000 shares outstanding. So $129,000 divided by 10,000 shares. That's going to equal $12.90 per share. Per preferred share. So for the preferred, $12.90. So how do we do the common? We have to still do the common stock. What do we do there? That's the next step. After we calculate the preferred and look at the arrears and all that good stuff if it's cumulative, now we get to look at the common stock. How do we calculate the common? Well, common is the residual. It's whatever's left over. And in the residual, we look at the amount total dividend, which is $248,000, and we subtract away the $129,000 total. That's why we had to calculate that total, by the way, in addition to getting that amount. We subtract those two numbers, the $248,000 minus the $129,000. We're going to get $119,000. We then divide that amount. So we take 119 divided by, and the amount we're going to divide by is the number of common shares. So 35,000 shares of no par common stock. We're going to take the number of common shares outstanding, which is 35,000 shares. So 119,000 divided by 35,000 shares, that's going to give us $3.40 per share, and that is the amount for common. And we've just calculated the common amount is $3.40 per share, the preferred is $12.90, and you've just determined the answer to the question. Woo! Got that, right? Actually, not too bad. We were told what the arrears were. Now, if a question didn't tell you the arrears, you'd have to look at the previous years and what was paid in the previous years. It gave you this because it didn't really give you much about the previous years. So you can either be told the arrears if it's cumulative. If it's non-cumulative, we ignore it. If it's not given to you, you have to give you what the amounts are paid each year. Calculate the total amount that should be paid, $108,000. Of course, it doesn't have to be paid, but you calculate that arrears and you get through the problem. So with that, make sure you practice. It's a very important topic.